Alright, once again, another character rankings, this time to the main rival of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, Zuwijo Velgear. Because we did the pro tag, and so we must do the rival, which is the first alien rival, and we're going to be ranking his main aces based on their base form first, based on their design, and evolve form second. Because technically, each one of his main aces does have its own evolve form, but most of them are infused with Requiem, so I'm going to be counting them towards their own form, rather than counting them as a Requiem form. Because oh boy, he fused a lot of his monsters with Requiem. And in many cases, he also fused two smaller monsters into one big monster, which is another one of his alternate aces that he would be using, mostly from Dark Prophet. So those will be counted as well. And I will say this right now, this list is a bit tough to rank considering that Zuwijo is one of those main rivals that has a lot of cool aces, especially alternate aces with the demonic alien look, that it's a bit tough to rank, especially if you count them with the evolved forms, because the evolved forms kind of look awesome as well. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's just begin the rankings based on my own personal opinion, so you can always have yours. And of course, it's based on anime appearances on their design. So on the bottom of my list, which is number 5, it is Velgear Hekatuncher, which its design is actually still pretty awesome to me, looking with the dark bluish bug light alien dragon, and I really love the armor design, especially with the 4-armed and the insect looking wings. I definitely love the gold on it, and especially the helmet design. I just think it's just pretty awesome with the bug like looking alien dragon. And then if we evolve it, which is fused with Requiem, I really do love the dark color scheme and kind of the armor design, especially with the cool double-sided blade. But to me, this form looks a little way too buggy in comparison to the base form, but I do kind of like the bug wings, especially when it projects its energy wings out. It does look still pretty cool, but not as cool as the other aces. And when it comes to as a Requiem evolve form, this is actually my least favorite one when it comes to Requiem evolve forms. And into my number 4, it's Chrysaor, which is Zuwijo's technically second main ace, and it's definitely an awesome one, being a tentacle themed knight with, of course, more tentacle looking arms and even double face, which actually looks very creepy, and I actually love it. And I definitely love the shield design as well. The sword is okay, and he does have an evolved form not shown in the anime, so that's not counted here, but he has another evolved form fused with Requiem, making Gigantomachina, in which if we do count this, it would be ranked a little higher, but Gigantomachina looks more Requiem than anything. But this form itself just looks awesome, and I really love this evolved form when it comes to main rival aces overall, with the cool armor design, the double blades, and definitely the wing designs as well, with the sharpened head horns and the helmet. And in a way, it doesn't even look like it's even part of this monster at all, which is kind of weird to me because usually fused forms would actually show that. But still, in my opinion, cooler than Hekatuncher just because of the creepy looking design. In which we go to number 3, which is a form that does not include Requiem at all, and it's the Apocalypse. A more Dark Knight themed monster with its flaming wings, and I love the flaming wing design here. It definitely looks intimidating. I really love the dark flame in the armor design as well, especially the armor design itself, and just overall one of the cooler ace monsters when it comes to Zuwijo. And into our number 2, Velgear Eclysium. Definitely one of the cooler base forms when it comes to aces, although I would say slightly lower than Apocalypse if it wasn't for its evolved form, but its armor design just looks awesome with the purple dark aesthetic, especially looking a little more like a muscular dragon, which does make it look intimidating. The only thing I don't really like is the wing design. I think the base form wing design just kind of looks a little pathetic in comparison to Apocalypse. And speaking of Apocalypse, I think Apocalypse still looks cooler when it comes to the base form design, but because this one has an evolved form, this is why it's ranked a little higher here, which is the Dark Matter form, and the Dark Matter form just looks intimidating, even more muscular than the base form with its evolved wing aesthetic. I just love the wing aesthetic and the bluish flames around them instead. The armor design definitely changed up a lot, especially with the dark armor. The shield gauntlets just look great, and definitely love the new horns on the head and the core on the chest. But overall, just one of the cooler main aces of Zuwijo, not in the base form department, at least when it comes to going up against Apocalypse or the final one in the list, but the evolved forms does make up for it, so I'll take it. In which we go to the last one on the list, which is Requiem himself. Being the main ace is of course the one that usually has the most serious design, and Requiem being a dark alien dragon looking knight just makes it look awesome. I love the gold armor here. Wing design is a bit weak, but still looks awesome for its design, especially its double-sided weapon. And of course, being the main rival's ace, of course it has different variation of forms. Now besides the evolved forms from its other main aces, which are both awesome in my opinion, especially Giganto Machina. We also got Chaos Machina, which looks like a awesome underwater dragon warrior with cool looking wings, especially since this one was infused with Neptune. But then when we evolve them with the Dark Matter and Contact Fusion, so first up we got Dark Matter Requiem, which definitely looks awesome with the Dark Matter armor, and the blue flames, especially with the changed up wings. I just love its new armor design here, definitely looks intimidating. But then when we evolve it even further to Omega, this just looks even cooler, especially with the shield, and I definitely love the cores around his body. Even the bladed wing design is just awesome, and definitely a new ring on the head. And in fact, in my opinion, this is the coolest Requiem form in my opinion. And in a way, it kind of works well as the ultimate form of Darkman Zuwijo. And then of course, we also got a fusion of Requiem with Udius' stuff, in which we got the Transom one, which just basically looks like Transom wearing Requiem as an armor, which I always found weird. But then we also got Chaos Oblivion, which is their two main aces fused as one. And I kind of like the mix aesthetic here, where it's basically half light and dark. Even though it's a bit more Oblivion than anything, it does have a mixed armor design, especially on some parts, which I overall like. But he does have one final form, which is Forbidden Requiem, which in my opinion doesn't look as cool as the Dark Matter Requiems, but still look pretty cool with the divine looking design, since it has more white flames and a scythe, and definitely a cool head design and armor design, with the wings looking more blade-like than anything. But still a cool evolved form, but in my opinion not as cool as the Dark Matter ones, and even the ones that are just played with fusion. If only I could count God Requiem towards this, but God Requiem is not in the anime. But overall, when it comes to Zuwijo's main ace, Requiem is definitely the coolest, especially with the evolved forms. And overall, one of the coolest main aces when it comes to main rivals. And so that's it for this rankings for Zuwijo's main aces, based on my personal opinion, based on their design first, on their base forms, and evolved forms second. What do you guys think of it? How would you rank them? And what others would you put on the list, because I might have missed some. But based on how I watched the whole entire anime, these are the ones that I see as main aces along with the alternates. And just overall, tough list to do. But other than that, there's really not much to say about Zuwijo's main aces other than they're just pretty awesome and overall cooler than some of the other main rival aces. But on that, that's it for this, and see you next time.